guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. And today we are making, I'm going to ferment some cherry tomatoes. The yellow ones are all from my garden. These are organic cherry tomatoes that I got at the store to supplement because we're not in a full flush of tomatoes yet, but I want this because I want to make bruschetta with it. And fermented tomatoes are absolutely delicious. I have fresh rosemary from the garden, fresh thyme, fresh garlic, and fresh, so aromatic basil. So and everything's washed and dried. Hands are clean. This is so easy. You're not even going to believe it. I've got 2 cups of filtered water. You want to make sure it doesn't have any chlorine or anything like that. I'm going to bring you in close and show you how fast and easy this goes together. Well, we'll just keep you right there. So you can use sea salt, Himalayan pink salt, kosher salt. I'm using kosher because I don't want it quite as salty, and the granules are bigger. So you could get coarse sea salt too and use that, but you don't want an iodized salt. So for 2 cups of water, it calls for 2 tablespoons of salt. And you might think that's really salty, and maybe you won't. I did try to ferment some beets for beet kvass, and I thought it was extremely salty. I was not a fan at all. So then you're going to pack your clean, sterile jar, let that dissolve, and each tomato needs to have a hole poked because you want that brine to get inside. So get a toothpick, start poking some holes, and the brine will work its way in. You want nice firm tomatoes. I've already washed and inspected all of these. Oop, and that one can stay there. If you find one that's too soft, leave that out of the mix. It's not necessary. And we're just going to continue. I'm super excited. I love tomatoes, and I'm trying to come up with different ways this year to preserve them. So preserving them like this is a no-brainer. And this will you can keep this in your fridge. Once it's fermented, it takes under a week to ferment on the countertop. And once it's fermented to the taste that you like, and you can taste it anytime you want, then you put it in the refrigerator. It'll slow that fermentation down, and it'll keep for about a year. Everybody's a little bit different on, it won't last that long though here, I know that. Okay, then I've got fresh garlic, put a couple cloves of that in there. I'm going to start off with some of the herbs, get some thyme up the side, and some basil down there. Basil leaves, oh, it's so aromatic. Yum. I'm excited. Can you tell? It's definitely going to be a delicious ferment. So the beet kvass, though, I will say, I didn't care for it at all. It was way too salty. I'm not drinking anything that salty. Not one little bit. And I've got a fresh sprig of rosemary too. All these fresh herbs will infuse into the fermented tomatoes as well. So I took out 2 quart jars and 1 pint. We'll see how far we go. We may only go to 1 quart. I don't know. But you're just poking away. Get it done. And I have actually it was a gift. A dear friend gave me for Christmas a fermentation kit. And it has the pickle pipes and the weights that need to go in the jar, because everything that you're putting in here needs to be in an anaerobic state, which means no oxygen, but all water. Now here's an example. This tomato, she's got a soft side. Hold on, let me get off the center. So this tomato, I don't know if you could see. Can you see that flat side there? It's soft there, and Just give it a chef's treat and be done with it. You don't want to put that in a ferment. You want them as firm as possible. And I actually need to get most of these are sun gold tomatoes out of the garden. And like I said, the red ones were to supplement. Plus, it's going to look pretty in the jar to have two colors. You want really firm tomatoes, fresh and firm. And I've been saving these for a couple of days because I was like, I want to make fermented tomatoes. And then later I'm going to make sun-dried tomatoes. So we'll put 2 more cloves of garlic in there. And you just continue to pack this jar. So this is how easy it is. And now I'm not wasting any of these tomatoes. Now, I would take them in snack bags and eat them throughout the week in my lunches and snacks, but this is going to make the most delicious bruschetta when it's done, and I will bring you back for that taste test. I'm not going to bring a long video where we check it every day. Believe me, by tomorrow this will be bubbling and fermenting, and you'll be able to see activity in the jar. So you want them packed in there, but you don't want to squeeze them because they are going to slump down. You can kind of tap it on your hand and see if you can get them to pack down any further. But look at that. You're going to get it full enough that you can fill it with brine and get that pickle pipe on there and the weight to hold everything under. From now, okay, I am so excited. A couple more and this quart is done. And I may, yep. Whoop. Here's another, I can feel it soft. It's really ripe. So sweet. But these get like effervescent on the inside. This is the other thing. Now, it wouldn't hurt anything, but I don't want that scarring in my mix. So I'll just eat it. Okay, I've got them just about as full as they can get. Look how beautiful. Garlic and basil and rosemary and thyme. Absolutely gorgeous. And the rosemary, and then I have a bag of snack tomatoes. The rosemary and the thyme and the garlic, I'm just putting the rest of this garlic in there now, is going to act as a infusing mechanism, if you will. So you want to get your weight, and that fits right inside your jar there, just like that. And go ahead and pour your brine. Oh, stir it one more time. Because I'm using water right out of the filtered water right out of the fridge. So it's cold. It's not warm. Fill that with water till it is covered. You want everything covered, and they are going to float. So okay, get that down. And we'll get a pickle pipe. Yeah, it's got to go down a little bit. So hold please. I've got to take some of this water out, I think. Yeah, there we go. Kind of down at the shoulders of the jar. Okay. And just like that. I think that's perfect. Everything is submerged perfectly. Yep, perfect. And get your pickle pipe on there. Tighten your lid. These have a little, I can show you with this one. it has a little opening. So when it needs to let off the gases that is going to be produced with this, it'll automatically vent that itself. So you get that ring on there, but you don't need it on there so tight it can't move. And there's our beautiful jar of pickle or fermented tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and garlic and rosemary and thyme. And when this is done, I'm going to bring you back and do a video for a taste test and how I serve it. It's going to be delicious. All right, guys, I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious recipe. Quite honestly, it might be using some fermented stuff. Like I said, I fermented or tried to ferment the beets, and I just was not a fan. It was so salty and so unpleasant, and the beets didn't even really have themselves didn't have a good flavor, and I adore beets. So in fact, I'm getting ready to roast some right now. All right, see you next time. Bye. Okay, guys, so I was just going to end the video with what I was doing and come back, but I had to include this. It's been 5 days, and let me just tell you, I've already taken the weight and the pickle pipe off these tomatoes, but they were bubbly. They actually overflowed onto the plate, and I am going to tell you, we tasted one last night, and I did not grow enough cherry tomatoes. So in my future, instead of growing 1 or 2, I'm going to be growing 6 or 10 because this is phenomenal. And I want to eat this all winter long till the next summer crop comes up from this day forward. So obviously I can buy organic cherry tomatoes, which I did do that today because I want to mix them with my own and do another batch of this. But let me get a little bowl and I'll show you. Oops, I don't have one over there. I will show you what I've got. So you want to, when you dip in here, you really want to make sure your fork is clean. And I'm going to grab a little piece of garlic because I want to taste that too. I fermented garlic last year in honey, and it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So we've got that tomato. We don't want to, let's get a red one too. We are actually going to have this, I'm going to toast a piece of ciabatta bread. I'm going to make a delicious bruschetta. If you want to see that video and how I do it and how I do it with this, please let me know in the comment section. But for right now, it's just a taste test. And the garlic is still very firm. Woo! And potent. Uh-oh. Sorry, honey. Anyway, and then the tomato. They're softer than fresh, obviously, but they have this fizziness about them, and that salty brine just makes it work. And if you remember, I poked a hole in each one, right? Unbelievable. I can taste the rosemary, the thyme, the garlic. Of course, I can taste the garlic. But this is wonderful, and this will keep up to a year. It's fermented. Once I get it to the fermentation that I want, I think I'm going to leave it for another day or two. Once I get it there, then I will put it in the fridge, and it'll be good to go until it's gone. But I'm going to start another batch, so. So I really think the fizziness needs to happen again. I mean, it needs to happen. You want to make sure you put your weight back on. Clean hands, obviously, but keep everything under the brine, and put your pickle pipe back on. And I put it on this plate because, well, it bubbled over today and yesterday. There's a lot of activity in there. Oh, they're so good. I highly, highly recommend doing this. I am so sold on this. I will be doing this with all my cherry tomatoes from now on, except for the ones we eat fresh. But I'll have another batch going. So in, a week or so, we'll have more to enjoy. And I would like to build it up where I've got, 3 or 4 quarts in the garage refrigerator waiting to be consumed at all times. All right. Guys, I hope that this inspires you to make yourself some fermented tomatoes with your cherry tomatoes out of the garden. It's the perfect timing right now. Everybody's getting them, and you can save them up and make yourself a batch of fermented cherry tomatoes with the herbs out of your garden. You can mix up the herbs. You can add garlic, not add garlic, but the garlic adds a pop. You smell, it's aromatic. It's wonderful. So I'm going to get to making some ciabatta and some ciabatta toast and get us some bruschetta. Like I said, if you want to see anything like that, let me know. I'll show you how I do it. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye. I do hope you try this because these are absolutely delicious. You won't regret it.